The FIA sacks race director Michael Masi after his controversial handling of the Abu Dhabi GP. But Max Verstappen's F1 title triumph won't be overturned after he beat Lewis Hamilton. Formula One race director Michael Masi was sacked on Thursday over the controversial decision that denied Lewis Hamilton a near-certain 8th World Championship title in Abu Dhabi. Although Masi's dismissal can be taken as a rare acknowledgement by the FIA that they were culpable for the last lap incident that shook the sporting world 2 months ago, Mercedes will not seek to get the result overturned. A spokesman for Hamilton's team confirmed, "No, we accepted and acknowledged the championship result in our statement on December 16. Since then, the FIA have conducted their own analysis in consultation with teams and drivers, including us, and reached their own conclusions, which they have presented today." So Max Verstappen remains 2021 world champion, and a worthy one over the season. Hamilton remains runner-up, and an understandably sore one. Mercedes, led by their QC Paul Harris, believed their case was overwhelming, namely that Masi disregarded the rule book to call in the safety car early to Hamilton's disadvantage. But they did not believe an FIA court sitting in judgment on its own race director and stewards could possibly provide them with the outcome they sought, and abandoned their litigation. They instead sought assurances from the FIA that things would change. That may have sealed Masi's fate, with Hamilton's own future in the sport supposedly hinging on some form of meaningful redress. Mercedes deny that Masi's head was a quid pro quo for their star man to race on into his 38th year. Regardless, the choreographing of Masi's departure was artful. The 43-year-old Australian was still working until 2 days ago in the cautious hope of continuing in post when the new season starts in Bahrain on March 16, but was told of his dismissal on Wednesday. Then, on Thursday, the new FIA president Mohammed bin Sulayem, the Emirati rally driver whose decision it was, issued an unusual video statement to deliver the news publicly. That announcement was timely because Friday brings Mercedes' car launch at which Hamilton, team principal Toto Wolff and incoming driver George Russell will be present. Masi's departure is a sign of bin Sulayem's ruthless desire to sweep out the pits at the start of his reign and to imprint himself as undisputed boss. He resisted significant Masi supporters, including Bernie Ecclestone, whose wife Fabiana was elected on bin Sulayem's election ticket in December as one of his vice presidents. Masi, currently staying in London, is understood to be devastated at losing the job he took up on the sudden death of Charlie Whiting 3 years ago. He is weighing up whether to take up bin Sulayem's offer to continue in another capacity, possibly as race director in another series. Bin Sulayem, meanwhile, unfurled his revamped race structure following a much vaunted, though unpublished, investigation into the Abu Dhabi drama. Portuguese Eduardo Freitas, World Endurance Championship race director, and German Niels Wittich, ex-DTM race director, take over Masi's old job. They will alternate over the 23-race season, an acknowledgement the demands are too much for one man. Hobie Blash, longtime deputy to Whiting, comes in as permanent senior advisor. At 73, and having attended more Grand Prix than anyone in history with the possible exception of his old Brabham boss Ecclestone, the Englishman offers the experience Masi lacked. The establishment of a virtual race control room. Bin Sulayem said, like VAR in football, it will be positioned, in one of the FIA offices, as a backup outside the circuit. In real-time connection with the race director, it will help to apply the sporting regulations using the most modern technological tools. Of the pit wall to race control radio exchanges that were so controversial during the Abu Dhabi denouement, bin Sulayem said, direct radio communications during the race, currently broadcast live by all TVs, will be removed in order to protect the race director from pressure and allow him to take decisions peacefully. It will be possible to ask questions to the race director, according to a well-defined and non-intrusive process. The president also committed to reassess unlapping procedures behind the safety car. Mercedes had pressed for Masi's departure ever since he made his contentious decisions, namely, disadvantaging Hamilton by withdrawing the safety car, and allowing only the 5-lapped cars in between Verstappen and Hamilton to overtake it, and so providing the Dutchman freedom to attack the 7-time champion. Following a review into the safety car period, where both teams heavily lobbied Masi, direct communications to the race director have been removed from TV broadcast. Teams may now only ask questions in a non-intrusive manner. The process of cars unlapping themselves under the safety car will also be reviewed. A statement from Ben Sulayem read, drawing conclusions from the detailed analysis of the events of the last F1 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and from the 2021 season, I proposed an in-depth reform of the organization of refereeing and race direction. It was unanimously supported by F1 CEO and team's principals. Here is my plan for these structural changes. Firstly, to assist the race director in the decision-making process, a virtual race control room will be created. Unlike the video assistance referee, VAR, in football, it will be positioned in one of the FIA offices as a backup outside the circuit. In real-time connection with the FIA F1 race director, it will help to apply the sporting regulations using the most modern technological tools. Secondly, direct radio communications during the race, currently broadcast live by all TVs, will be removed in order to protect the race director from any pressure and allow him to take decisions peacefully. It will still be possible to ask questions to the race director, according to a well-defined and non-intrusive process. Thirdly, unlapping procedures behind safety car will be reassessed by the F1 Sporting Advisory Committee and presented to the next F1 Commission prior to the start of the season. And finally, I would like to inform you that a new race management team will be put in place starting in Barcelona for the test session. Neil Swittich and Eduardo Freitas will act alternatively as race director, assisted by Herbie Blash as permanent senior advisor. Michael Masi, who accomplished a very challenging job for 3 years as Formula One race director following Charlie Whiting, will be offered a new position within the FIA. Masi, 44, had public support from a selection of drivers including 4-time world champion Sebastian Vettel, as well as McLaren duo Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo. He also had backing from significant figures in the corridors of power. They did not believe the teams should dictate who is the sport's top official. With around 5 laps to go during the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, Hamilton led second place Verstappen by 12 seconds and was cruising towards a victory that would have crowned him world champion for a record 8th time. However, Williams driver Nicolas Latifi then crashed late on around the circuit, bringing out the safety car due to the debris littered over the track. Red Bull pitted Verstappen for new tyres, while Mercedes kept Hamilton out on his old compound, knowing that by pitting first Red Bull would do the opposite and inherit track position by keeping Verstappen out. With plenty of debris left on the track and so few laps remaining, there was a strong likelihood the cars would run in formation under the safety car until the finish line, so pitting realistically wasn't an option for Mercedes. As the drivers bunched up behind the safety car, there were 5-lapped cars between Hamilton and Verstappen, meaning any restart meant Verstappen would have to negotiate Lando Norris, Fernando Alonso, Esteban Ocon, Charles Leclerc, and Sebastian Vettel, who would let him through easily as per the rules but not in enough time to give the Dutchman a shot of passing Hamilton.